Hello everyone and welcome back to Don't Look Back. The second episode this week is part of our Halloween celebrations here on the channel. We've already done the Gourd Reaper one, but 1 year later to the day on Halloween night, the mysterious pumpkins have once again appeared again in the town and the Gourd Reaper is back. And as it says on the VHS cassette tape there, he's back and he's jacked old lantern. And boy is he! He has pumped himself up. And he is out for vengeance. He just wants to beat everyone to death, essentially. He comes with his own killer type card. So in Gourd Reaper 1 you just use one of the base types, the ethereal. This time though, he has his own card. We'll look at it properly in a second. But we also are using the mission that comes in his box called the Gourd Reaper 2. And some of that overwrites some of his base rules if you just wanted him as a generic killer for one of the other mission types in the game. So we're going to be doing the Gourd Reaper 2. I'll give you a better view of his card first actually, and then we'll look at the mission this time. So the Gourd Reaper 2, he has a staggering 25 wounds. That's his health pool. He has a role called Driven Off. All characters remove an additional point of terror. This is not going to be relevant because of the specific mission. He can't be driven off, or he won't be driven off more than once. Special rules though. Unnatural toughness, any damage received reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1. Unnatural speed, roll 2d10, pick the highest for how far he moves. Hatred, when a character uses the distract, he makes a normal move using unnatural speed. It's probably not going to happen. And then he has attacks which do a ridiculous amount of damage. His base attack is 3 to everyone within 2. And then his other one is 3 plus 1 terror. And it's pretty scary. So, also if they attack criticals, the target character automatically falls victim on that second one, i.e. if he gets a crit, they insta-die, which is very scary. But he comes with some set things because of the Gourd Reaper 2. He's still direct for his MO. He has patient, so he ignores supporting characters on a 9+. That probably won't be relevant. He's still relentless, so that's +2 to the roll on fright tokens. I got this wrong last time. It's only until he's revealed and then it stops applying. So I made that a bit harder on myself last time. And he's armed and dangerous, which means he causes bleeding. I don't quite remember offhand what bleeding does, but we can check that once he smacks someone. And for the Gourd... Oh, as I kicked the camera, apologies. For the Gourd Reaper 2, this is his special mission. Basically, you just have to kill him. That's the long and the short of it. You're allowed to put 3 lights on the table. I've kept them roughly in the same place, although this time you do have freedom to put them wherever you want. They're still pumpkins. They only have 2 wounds now instead of 3. And if you burst them, you do 2 wounds to the Gourd Reaper as per the standard rules. I'm going to make it a little bit easier on myself. I've added an extra pumpkin because this set came with 4, not 3. So there's an extra pumpkin and I'm going to have them do 3 wounds. And the reason I'm doing that is because last time we lost Holden and Ranger Sandy. And they're basically 2 of the best damage dealers, and all we're left with is the nerds. And the 2 survivors, of course. So we're going to have a tough time. So that's why I'm kind of evening it out by doing that, but that's not a set rule, it's just something I'm changing. On that note, our 2 survivors from the year before, Max and Alice, they're going to do +1 damage if they attack him, because they know how to deal with him from being survivors. Other than that, there's some optional rules for if you have expanded rules for like environmental stuff. I don't have those, so we're not doing those. That's the killer traits and whatnot that I've already laid out. And the objective is just to drive off the Gourd Reaper at least 1 time with 2 surviving characters by the end of turn 12 at the most. So he has to be driven off, meaning they have to do 25 wounds to him. But the pumpkins on the table kind of let you have a bit of an advantage. He's not going to start on the table, so there's a chance that you can search for some gear first. That's the basic gist of it. Let's take a look at who we're using. So because of the Herculean task set out before them as part of the Gourd Reaper 2 mission, you don't use 4 characters, you use 6. So we have Max and Alice front and centre, the 2 survivors from the Gourd Reaper. They're joined by Dr. Grange, sorry, at the back there. The lady with the skateboard is Kat. Then we have Denise, who's in yellow, and then we have Seth the nerd. None of these people except Max are good at combat, so that's why this is going to be very difficult. If we take a quick overview of the table real quick, we can see that there is a fright token in each table quadrant in the middle. There's one on the far end of that house, and there's one up there on the XXX bar. There's 3 lights, as I already said. You split into 2 teams of 3, and you can start within 3 inches of any board edge. So I'm going to start one set down here, where the card currently is, and the others at the other end of the street, just to split our efforts for smashing the pumpkins. Even if the Gourd Reaper's not on the table, if a pumpkin gets smashed, it's still going to apply the wounds. And with that, I think we're about ready to get started. Anything else I'll mention once everything's deployed. So to get the game started, we have this pulled back view here. You can see I've deployed Max, Alice, and I guess their therapist down this end of the table, and then the group of kids who've maybe worked out what's going on up at the top of the screen there with Seth, Kat, and Denise. We start with no killer on the table, so it's just fright phase, but we add on 2, so normally it's a 10, but it's an 8+. This time I'm not rolling nothing but 10s, so the fright tokens don't do anything. We just go straight to my turn, and we have to go looking for the pumpkins. I've moved them ever so slightly. There's one to the side of the stoop here, there's one in the woods next to the stones over there, one in front of the house there, and one in front of the bar. And as said, we are going to carry across wounds even if the killer is not on the table yet and the lights start the game on. So Max is going to move forwards and move a total of 8. He's immediately going to go try and smack the pumpkins. Now I don't believe this version of the Gourd Reaper has that rule where if you smash a pumpkin he teleports. He's mostly stomping around like a Hulk. That's what his attacks are like. He's then going to use Baby Blues on Alice to make her move into the light there. Now Dr. Grange, she only moves 4, so she's an 8 as well. She's just kind of, can she inspire them? She calms people, she can help remove fright. Okay. Well, we'll just move her up for now. We'll just move her there. No need to do any rolls for falling because we don't have any fear. Alice is going to try and smack a pumpkin. She's just going to move into base to base with it and try and smack it, because why not? For combat, well, she might as well inspire herself, I suppose. So our combat is 12 normally. No, it's not 12, sorry, 8. So it's 10. Missed it by 1. Do we bother re-rolling with our 1 luck? Sure, why not? We'll use our 1 luck. We got it, so that's 1 wound to the pumpkin. That pumpkin has 1 left. Now I need to move over to the other end of the table. So the other end of the table is actually very difficult to get a view on, but if we keep the camera here, they're about to move into line of sight. Cat only moves 4 as well, but if she moves twice and she's outdoors, she gets 2 extra inches of movement because of her skateboard. So she is going to move 10 in total, right down the street here, nearing that pumpkin. The pumpkins also don't generate any terror in this version, and we're not doing jump scares for the porches because that's just, you know, normal houses, but the trees, the rocks, we'll do jump scares for those if the need comes up. The nerd only moves 3, so he's just going to shuffle forward 6, and that'll get him into the light. And then Denise is going to walk 8 towards the closest pumpkin that's in front of this bar, and then that's it for them. I know you can't see that, apologies, but she did get into base to base actually with a double move, but she can't attack until next turn. So that's it for the first turn already. So as we start turn 2, it's normally on a 6+, but it's going to be down to a 4 for whether or not the fright tokens activate, and they do. So they start with the one furthest from characters, which would actually be this one right here. That's an 8. That is move 6 towards the closest character. That would be Dr. Grange. Simple enough. So this one is just going to go whoop like that. Next furthest from characters would be the one on the far side of that building that isn't visible currently. That's move 6, I'll do it in a second. The one on top of the triple X bar, that's move 6, that'll be in base to base with Denise. And then there's one on top of this roof here. Oh, exactly the same. That'll be in base to base. I'll put it in base to base with Alice just because otherwise, well, Alice and Max, there we are. So that's a little awkward. The light should have turned off in the killer phase in turn 1, even though the killer isn't on the table. They're going to switch back on right now, so it doesn't really matter. I'll go move those other 2 fright markers, and then it's straight into my turn because the killer's not here yet. Alright, the 2 teams know what they need to do, whether the Gourd Reaper's on the table or not. They need to destroy those pumpkins. Everyone except Seth, because he's in a light, is generating 1 terror. Actually no, because it happens when he activates. Oh yeah, they would turn back on. Yep, so he's fine. But we're going to go with Alice. She's going to try and finish off that pumpkin, buffing herself. She did not do it with her first action. That attacking is a long action, so she can't do anything else. So she's basically done. Max is just going to move into base to base and attempt the same thing. His combat skill is better, of course, because he's got a bit. You know what she should have done? She should have inspired him. 10 on him though, and he got it. So that pumpkin is splatted, and normally, if you're, oops, sorry Alice. Normally that would do 2 damage to the Gourd Reaper too, but to make it a bit easier on us, I'm counting that as 3 damage because none of these people are good in combat, so we need the help. But that's her turn done. Dr. Grange, what can she do again? Let's see. Well, any characters within 4 of her add 1 to the character's fright value. That's good for combat later in the fight, I suppose. I guess you'll head over towards the pumpkin that's just out of your screen to the left. She's got 1 point of terror, so does she trip on a double move? Nope. She's just as well. She's going to start running towards it, like that. She's not within 2 of the rocks, so no jump scare yet. And that's that side of the table. I'll just do the other side from where we are. Denise is going to try and smack the pumpkin. She also has I've already put 1 terror on her for starting next to the fright token. What's her chance to hit? 5? Oh, this is going to go so bad. 5. Oh, she actually hit it. Only for 1, but still. And then can Seth even get there with 1 move? Yeah, I'm going to say he can. He's standing on the fright token, which I think you're allowed to do. What is Seth's chance to hit? His combat's 8. That's actually surprising. No. How much luck does he have? 2 luck. I'll use a reroll. That was 16 twice in a row. Nope. Alright, well he's done then. So that pumpkin there has 1 damage on it. Let's have Cat move into base to base with this one. Round here a bit away from the fright marker. What's her chance to hit? 8. Try that. It rolled off camera, but it's a 12, so that's a no-go. I'll use 1 of her luck as well. Nope. That's unfortunate. And that's my turn. So normally it's a 5+ on turn 3, but now it's a 3+. I think they're going to activate. Yep, just though. The one furthest from anybody is this one right here, honestly. That's a 9. It's here. Yep, he has appeared. Conjure the killer, and then he gets a free move. So this goes away. He wants to attack the most number of people actually, so he'd probably face those 2. So the Gourd Reaper in all his jacked old lantern sense is here. So we roll 2d10 and pick the highest. I don't think it's going to matter given how close he is, but let's do what we're supposed to do. 8. Yeah, he's getting in there. Sorry, Alice. The killer has come to say hello with his pumpkin fist. So it's here. Does he get a free attack? The killer is already conjured. No, ignore it. Once placed, move the killer. No, but it is the killer's turn now, so yes, he is going to get to attack. He doesn't need to move because he's already engaged, so it goes straight to his attacks. So Vine Ripened Fist targets all characters within 2 inches. Make a separate attack roll for each character. Combat 14, damage 3, and it crits on a 1 or a 2. Wow. Well, we'll go against Alice first. He misses by 1, so that's pretty good. And then Max. That's a hit. So Max takes 3, not a crit though. I'm going to use dice to track their wounds this time, otherwise I'm going to run out of markers since we have so many people. So he's taken 3 wounds, and he is bleeding, which means somebody needs to take a look at that, or when he activates he takes 1 wound, which is not great. And then he does attack number 2, which is Fury-Filled Smash. Target a random character in contact. Technically he could have got in contact with both of them, so I'm going to count them both as being in contact. We'll just roll the d6, I guess. 1, 2, 3 is Max. Okay, it's Max. Combat 5, so it's got a very low chance to hit, which is just as well because it insta-kills. Thank goodness it missed. That was a 10. So he has missed. Well, sorry, it only insta-kills if it crits, but it also does 3 injuries, which is pretty scary. So actually I'm just going to adjust him so he isn't base to base with him. That's scary. All the lights switch off, and it's over to my turn. So how fitting is it that the Gourd Reaper went after Alice and Max? That's the 2 people he wants revenge against. So they're just going to stand and fight, so it's over to everyone else. Dr. Granger is going to move into base to base with the pumpkin over here, which means she's going to have to do a jump scare real quick because of the rocks and the trees and whatnot. Let me just look at that table real quick. Jump scare on a d10. It's a 3. Flickering light. Flip all light tokens. Well, that's just as well because I forgot to put the tokens on them to say that they're turned off. And then she's going to attack the pumpkin. She's going to try and smash it with her high-heeled shoes on a combat of 5. Nope. Does she have luck? 1 luck, sure. Nope. So she's done. Cat, she's just going to try and smash the pumpkin. Nope. I think she only had 1. Oh no, she's got 2 luck. I'll use it again. Nope. That's her out of luck. And then Denise on a 5. Nope. So this is why I added this extra roll, because they're rubbish at combat. And then Seth on an 8. A 9. He'll use 1 luck. Finally, he actually critted it. That's that pumpkin up at the bar also popped. Oh, I forgot to add some terror to them as well because of the... or fears because of the terror tokens. But that is 3 more wounds to the Gourd Reaper, so 6 of his 25. And 1 more terror would go to Seth because he started on a fright token. 1 more to Denise, 1 more to Alice, and 1 more to Max because they're right on 1. Speaking of which, Alice is going to buff Max with her Inspire, and then she's going to try and smack the Gourd Reaper in the face. Because what else can she do? So, good luck. I don't think 9 is good enough. I think she's an 8. Let's see. Yeah, she's an 8. Max, though, this is the important one. Because he does 3 damage with that baseball bat and smacks killers away. It rolled off screen. It is a 6. Or a 9. Hang on, which is this? Oh no, it is a 6. There's a line underneath. So he actually did manage to land 3 wounds with his baseball bat, which is really good. And let's just see here. 3 injuries. If the killer has any injuries and taken injuries from the baseball bat, move the killer 2 inches away. There we are. Push him back ever so slightly. That's what you get for facing down the people who beat you once before, and only once before. That's my turn though. There's still 2 pumpkins, which is a potential 6 more wounds to the Gourd Reaper, but that still means they're going to have to land some hits, and right now Max is the only one who can consistently do that. So this is where it gets tricky. Turn 4 is on a 4+, no bonus this time, that's a 10, so they do activate. The one furthest from anybody, that's actually kind of tricky. I guess it's the one above Cat at the north of the table there. That is a 2. Did you hear that? Remove the token and flip all lights within 6. So that just goes away. There we go. Then the next furthest from anyone would be this one, because Seth's literally standing on one. So that one is move closer. It can't move any closer, it's at them. Well, there. And then the one Seth is standing on, same thing. It's already there, so that's going to generate some terror for them. I'll just do that now, in fact. So Seth and Denise get 1, and Max and Alice get 1. Just like that. So then it's the killer's turn. He's still going to smash them. Roll 2, pick the highest. More than enough. He is right back into them, wanting to smash them. Let's see if I can turn this ever so slightly so you can see it better. And he hits both of them with his first attack. So we'll do Max first on a 14. That is a hit. Wait, is it? Yeah, either way it's hit. Oh, also I forgot bleeding on Max's turn, so he would have taken another injury from that. So he's up to 4, and then he just took 3 more. So he's up to 7, which is not good. Thankfully it wasn't a crit, but the person who needs to stay alive is getting dangerously close to not being able to do that. And then the attack on Alice. That is a miss, and then he's going to do the fury-filled smash. So once again we'll just roll the die. 1, 2, 3 is Max. This time it's Alice. Does he hit her? Oh, he does. He smacks her in the face for 3 injuries and 1 terror. So that's 3 plus 1 more terror. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's quite painful, and she's bleeding now as well. Ugh. Alright, I'm going to go with Max first, which means he instantly takes a wound, because I'm not healing that just yet. He's 2 away from death. He's going to smack the Gourd Reaper. You bet he is. In fact, it's not quite a crit for a person. The Gourd Reaper crits on a 1 or a 2. That is 3 more wounds though, and he's going to knock him back 2 inches to get him out of base to base, which is important. Like that. And then he can do a short action, because that was a long action. Or sorry, a quick action. Oh wait, do you have to? I think you have to do a quick before a long. I think your turn ends after you do a long, so never mind. Alice then, who also takes 1 injury because she's bleeding, is going to let me take a look at that as a quick action to remove 2 injuries from a friendly within 2, to heal Max for 2 and remove his bleeding, because he must stay alive. He's the only one who can hurt it. So he's staying alive, and then as a long action she's going to do a take a breath, and there's a special rule I forgot to mention called safety in this from the Gourd Reaper 2 rules. When a character takes a breath action, if they're not in contact with an enemy model, they heal an additional injury. So that's what we're going to do. for her long one, and she can either heal 1 terror or 2 injuries. She's going to heal 2 injuries, so in total that's 3, so she's down to 1 wound. Simple as that. So that's their turn done. Dr. Grange, who we're going to have to turn, there we go, over by the rocks over there. She's going to try and smack that pumpkin. I have faith in you, Dr. Grange. Ah, you missed it by 1. Oh, actually no, you missed it by a lot. That's a 9. Never mind. And then Cat then, at the top of the screen. 7? Not good enough. Oh wait, sorry, it is. So that's 1 wound to that pumpkin, which is perfect, because that's the pumpkin that Seth and Denise are going over to right now. So let me just see here. They can't make it in a single move, so Denise is just going to run. Does she trip? Does not. And then Seth is also... Well, Seth can't really get in there, actually. What could he do? Actually, he could go try and help Max and Alice by shining a light on the Gourd Reaper and forcing him to move. So let's have Seth come down here and be very brave. We can't do it this turn. Does he fall? Nope. And I think that's my turn. Yeah, that's my turn. So we're already on the 5th round. Do the fright tokens activate on a 3+? Yeah, they absolutely do, and from this point on they always activate. So the furthest away one would be the one at the bar at the top of the table. That's a 10, so the killer is now enraged, so if he crits he does... Well, he already crits on a 1 or a 2, so I guess it just does an extra injury. And the one right in front of Alice and Max, I would just move into them. So I'll just put the terror on them now. That's starting to be a problem. Terror, fright, whatever. Yeah, fright. And then the Gourd Reaper gets to activate. We don't really need to roll. He is immediately right back in there. He wants them dead. First attack on Max on a 14. He hits. 3 injuries. That puts him at 9. Max is dead now, because he will take 1 when he activates. Oh no, I could activate someone before him first, and then get rid of the bleed, because if I don't, he's dead. And he might die to the Fury-filled smash in a second. The attack on Alice, that's a hit as well. So that's 3 to her, putting her at 4 in total, and she's bleeding as well, obviously. And then randomize. 1, 2, 3 is Max. It's on Alice. Okay. You know, every time I've rolled that die, it's rolled the round that it is, I think. On Alice. It doesn't hit. Just as well. Okay, that's scary. Well, I don't see anything that says if you're in base to base with an enemy you can't do it. Let me take a look at that. So I'm going to activate Alice. She's going to take a wound, putting her at 5. She's going to do let me take a look at that on Max to heal 2 wounds and get rid of his bleed so he doesn't die when he activates. And that's a quick action. And then she's going to take a breath. The bonus does not kick in because she is in base to base with an enemy, but I'm going to remove 2 injuries. They're barely hanging on, but they're trying. And then Max is going to activate. He's no longer bleeding. He will... He's just going to go straight to his long action and smack, I think. There's no quick actions he needs to do. Actually, yeah, he'll do a let me take a look at that as well. Remove Alice's bleed now, put her at 1 wound. Then for his long action, he'll swing the baseball bat. A 1! He actually crit! It's possible for the players to crit. I think that's the first time that's happened in any of these videos. So he batters the pumpkin away, and he does 4 damage, not 3. Oh, you know what? I've been forgetting that he reduces damage taken by 1 to a minimum of 1. He's been hit. Let's see, 2 pumpkins have gone, which accounts for 6 wounds. That doesn't get affected by that. He's been smacked by the bat twice, so that would come down to a 4. And then he just took 4. That would come down to a 3. Okay, so in total, he is at 13. Unlucky for some, yeah. So not as far along to death as I was thinking, because I totally forgot that. So yeah, he's only at 13 wounds, which is not nearly as impressive. But we can try and improve that by quickly activating Cat, see if she can smash that pumpkin up there, do 3 wounds. She actually did, that's a 4. So, just let me get in there for that evil pumpkin. Thank you very much. That's 3 wounds, which is much more like it. And then let's have Dr. Granger try and just stomp her high heel into the floor. She actually did it, so that's 1 wound to the last pumpkin on the top left of your screen there. And then Denise is just going to move twice. Does she fall on the second move? 3 or less. Nope. 6 to get to there. 7, 8. She's going to have to do a jump scare on that rock though. So it's a D10 roll. A 3. Flip all light tokens within 12. So not really relevant, we're not using them. Seth, I was going to try and chase the killer back, but he doesn't really need to now. He could just be like a healer for Max, I guess. So let's have Seth move twice into base to base with Max, kinda like there-ish. Does he trip on the move towards him, the second move? He actually does. The nerd is running over. Max, I'll help you. Blah. He fell on his face, which I think means the killer prioritizes him. I'm going to have to go check that now as we go into a new round. Well, round 6 of a potential 12, and it's down to the MO whether or not he would attack a downed character. It just gives bonuses to covering the distance and he does extra wounds. But his MO is you would place him next to the most clumped together characters and then he just attacks the closest. So Seth is in no especially dangerous situation really, because the closest person to him currently is still Alice. Fright tokens just activate, so we're rolling for the one in front of the club. That's move 6. That'll be in base to base with Denise. With Kat. There-ish. And then the one right in front of Alice. That's the same thing, isn't it? Yep. So it just stays where it is. That's one more terror, so now Alice's terror is dangerously high. And Denise is at 4, which is her limit. Alice is over her limit. She's realising the gargantuan task before them. Speaking of which, the gargantuan task before them is now going to smack them in the face. So we're not going to roll because he can't not fail the distance. Unfortunately, Seth is also now within 2 inches, so he's going to get smacked as well. I guess we'll start at the top and go down. So Seth, Max, Alice in that order. That's a hit. So that's 3 damage to the nerd, and he's bleeding. On Max. That is a hit. So 6. Let's see, that is... Oh, that's 10. He's dead. Ah! That might be our chances. Splatted into the ground. Right there. Max has fallen. And then Alice. That is a hit. So that's her up to 4 and she's bleeding again as well. Ah! Without Max, this has just gotten so much harder. He has 9 wounds, 3 of which we can get from the pumpkin. But the rest we have to do ourselves, and that's a problem. Oh dear. Well, let's start smashing pumpkins, Dr. Grange. Nope. Denise, move into base to base. Try the same thing. Absolutely not. I think we're just going to have Kat move towards the fight. Her combat isn't terrible. And if she moves a total of 10 thanks to that skateboard, yeah, she can get into base to base with him. Can't attack this turn, but it means she can start being constructively helpful. Does she fall though? Oh, she actually fell. She tried to do a sick trick on her skateboard and fell flat on her face. Fantastic. Seth takes 1 damage and then uses a quick action to stand up, and then he's just going to walk into base to base. The nerd is going to try and fight the gigantic roided out pumpkin monster. He's very brave. Alice is going to take a breather, I think. Well, actually, Seth is within 2 of her, so she might as well do a quick action to take a look at that to remove 2 of his wounds and cure his bleed, so why not? But then she's going to take a breath and take away 1 terror, because there's no point in her trying to hit right now because it'd be -6, so she'd need a 2 or less. Yeah, that ain't happening. Alright, turn 7, fright tokens, the one at the top of the table there. It moves 6. It's basically following her. And then the one underneath with combat is happening, that is lights flickering, I think. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter because we're not using the lights, we're just here to fight at this point to the bitter end. So then the Gourd Reaper is attacking everybody. Starting with Seth. Hits him. Yeah, it's 14 or less. Yep, hits him. So that is, I need more dice. 3 more wounds and he's bleeding again. And then Alice hits her for 3 more wounds. That's Seth up to 5 and she's up to 4, 5, 6, 7. And Kat is now within 2 inches, so you better believe he hits her, and not only does he hit her, he crits her. for 4 and bleeds her. This is going great. I think we're, with the loss of Max, I think we've lost this. And then he does his randomized second attack. So I guess we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's on Cat. Oh, and she takes an extra injury actually because she was on the ground when she got hit, so that's 5 on her. She might also just insta-die right here, let's see. She did not, it missed. Thank goodness. Oof. Well, let's go straight into my turn. Dr. Grange, smash that pumpkin. Nope. Denise, smash that pumpkin. 7, that's good enough for her. She's an 8, right? Hang on, Denise. No, she's a 5. I don't think I've used Denise's luck. I think I didn't use her luck. I'm going to use it now. Did not matter. She's missed either way. Fine. Cat's going to stand up. Oh, take a wound from being bled. First of all, that's her up to 6. And then move into base to base with the Gourd Reaper. Seth will take an injury because I'm activating him, so he's up to 6. He's going to take a look at that to remove 2 injuries from Alice. So that puts her back down to 5, I think. Yeah, 5. And then he's going to try and smack the Gourd Reaper with his weak and nerdy fist on an 8 or less. He actually critted for 2 damage. That's okay. That's 2 damage comes down to 1 though. I feel like crits should just go through, but whatever. So that's his turn. Then Alice is activating, and she will quick action take a look at that on Seth, and then attack, but she's -2. So this is on a 6 or less, and that's an 18, so that's a big fat nope. And then Cat stood up and walked into base to base. So that's them done for the turn. Getting there, kinda. Alright, fright tokens for turn 8, is it? Yeah. So 9, the killer. Oh, you know what? He was enraged when he attacked as well, wasn't he? I can't remember if I counted for that. Oh well, too late. The other one is not going to move. The terror, unfortunately, is now a massive problem because it's just going to sit there generating terror on the 3 of them, which is very bad. Although what's worse is the Gourd Reaper is attacking now. Let's start with Cat. It hits her, so that is 6, 7, 8, 9. So she's now dead unless someone heals her before she takes a turn, because bleed will kill her. Seth, oops, well, I'll count that as a roll because it did roll. I rolled 9 twice in a row. That's 3 more to Seth. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Alice, that is a miss, right? Yeah, he actually missed. Okay. And then randomize, we'll do it again. 1, 2 is Cat, 3, 4 Seth, 5, 6 Alice. That's a 1 again. I think Cat is about to be murdered. 7 isn't good enough, it's a 5. Yeah. You got lucky, kid. Well, let's just go straight into my turn then. So, Seth, no, not Seth. Alice will activate, take a look at that on Cat to heal 2, get rid of that bleed so she doesn't die. In turn, she takes 1 because she is bleeding. And then she basically needs to crit to hit, but why not? That's why not. And then Seth on an 8. Nope, couldn't do it twice in a row. Cat. Oh, as a quick action, I might as well have taken a look at that on someone. Alice, I guess. Put her down to 4. Then Cat swinging after doing the same to Seth. She actually hit him, only for 1, but still better than nothing. And then we do the pumpkin attacks. Dr. Grange. 17, nope. Denise. 6, is that good enough for Denise? No, not by 1 again. Ugh. So the turns are getting so fast now. We're already at 9. Fright marker, that moves. The other one is just enrage again. So that is 3 more terror. That's, let's see, Alice is 1 away from dying from terror, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Oh wait, no, a couple. There's 1 more on Cat and 1 more on Seth. This is where it matters though. I may as well just turn back to the Gourd Reaper, honestly. So starting with Cat, smacks her for 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, she was at 7. Oh no, she's dead. Punches her across the field into paste on the floor. Ah. Okay, and then Seth. That is a hit. So he is currently at 6. So he's up to 9 now. And bleeding again. And then smacking Alice. Not good enough. He missed her twice in a row. Wow. So then it's 1, 2, 3 on Seth, 4, 5, 6 on Alice for his attack number 2. Okay. It's 3 ones I've rolled in a row on that. On Seth. 12 is a miss, thankfully. So then Alice has to go. She's not bleeding. She was bleeding last turn actually, because yeah, he missed twice in a row. She'll take a look at that on Seth to heal, to stop his bleeding, and then try and smack the Gourd Reaper. She failed. Seth will... he might as well take a look at that on Alice. I mean, there's no harm. And then try and hit. 15 is a miss. Dr. Grange. Miss. Denise. Still a miss. They just can't break that final pumpkin, huh? Again, let's just keep going. There's not really any point rolling for the fright tokens at this point. I'm just adding the 1 stress, fear each turn to the 2 of them. And let's just go straight to the Gourd Reaper punching on Seth. Gets him. So that's he's at 7, 8, 9, 10. The nerd has been punted over the building, landed on a car, and just turned into paste. And then Alice. Poor Alice. Well, that's a miss at least. And then he can only hit her with his second attack. And he missed with that as well. She has a chance. Speaking of which, it's her turn now. She still hasn't been hit, so she's still not bleeding. But she's too scared, that's the problem. And it's a long action to get rid of any fear. I guess she'll just try and crit him, because it's what else can she do? 9 isn't good enough, she missed. Dr. Grange, I'm begging you, smash this pumpkin. Nope. Denise, smash this pumpkin. She smashed it with a crit. The final pumpkin has fallen. It finally took its last wound because Dr. Grange did hit it like 3 turns ago. That's 3 more wounds to the Gourd Reaper without the -1 proccing. So that's him up to 12, 18, 19, 20, 21. He has 4 wounds left, but they just have to land hits on him. And that probably isn't happening. So we're just going straight to the Gourd Reaper smacking poor Alice. Misses. Wow. And then the attack number 2 also misses. Okay. Straight over to Alice. We're just going to have her try and smack him. She does not. And then the other 2 are actually moving. So Dr. Grange is moving 8, and so is Denise. Oh, as a quick action actually, Dr. Grange can take away someone's fear. So she'll take away 2 terror from any friendly model within 2 of her. So she'll remove 2 from Denise, because why not? She obviously wants to get over here and help Alice, is the thing. Does she trip? Nope. Does Denise trip? Nope. So they're both on their way, roughly speaking. There we go. And honestly, again, we'll just keep going, because this is super quick now. This is turn 12. They have to do what, 3 injuries in 2 turns? Or is it turn 12? They must survive until the end of turn 12. We have to do the wounds this turn. This is the final round. And the Gourd Reaper goes first, smacking Alice. Hits her for 3, so that's her up to 5 plus bleed. And then the other attack on her misses. So they have a chance. What's the best way to do this? Moving in with Dr. Grange first, and then doing her free action to remove 2 terror off of Alice to stop her dying. Then her smacking him, 5s. She actually hit him for 1 damage. So that's a thing. And then Denise will move in, smack him for hopefully 1 damage. Not quite good enough, sadly. And then Alice, I mean, even if she did hit, yeah, they can't do it. So at turn 12, I guess that's maybe like crossing over midnight or something like that. It's technically a draw. I have more than 2 characters surviving, but the Gourd Reaper survived as well. He just kind of fades into the mist, content that at least he got max, and then for his more bang for his buck, he also killed a nerd and a skateboarding teen. But the Gourd Reaper takes the day. So we came really close there to achieving our goal. Do keep in mind I was changing the rules slightly to give us a better chance, because I knew with the characters we had it would be really tough. Normally you're only supposed to get 2 damage to him through the destroying of the pumpkins, and there's only supposed to be 3 of them, so it wasn't as close if you were using the default rules, but I felt like they could be altered a little bit to have more of a chance. And they came close. They got really close to managing to do it, but losing Max, that spelled the end. If he'd stayed on his feet dealing 3 wounds a turn, more or less, we would have had that. But yeah, the Gourd Reaper 2, the jacked old lantern version, is the victor this day. So that's going to do it for Don't Look Back, our Halloween special 2-parter. I hope you enjoyed the Gourd Reaper 1 and 2. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to show your support for what we do here on the channel, please do consider pressing the thanks button, becoming a member, or checking out the Patreon. It's all reinvested in the channel. We'll maybe see more Don't Look Back in the future. Until next time, thank you for watching, and ta-ta for now.